With all three new Hisui starters in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, today we're going to be featuring one of the most unique, in my opinion, being Hisui and Typhlosion, the only one that I personally think might actually be a downgrade in starters. With Hisui and Typhlosion, despite gaining a really powerful fire and ghost typing, you do lose out on one of the best things that Typhlosion had going for it, being the Flash Fire ability. While it does gain the ability Frisk, which is actually pretty good for the format we'll be playing, being the Battle Spot ladder, it's definitely overall a worse hit for Typhlosion since this did give it a really good role as a Sun Abuser. However, in today's video, I want to try and see if we can make the Hisui form work in the ladder. If you guys enjoy and want to see some more content like this, like and subscribe for more, and with that said, let's get into the team today. So today's team features a Tailwind team with Tornadus and Champao being really strong fast offensive Pokemon. We do have Azu here, which should help a ton with this team's really bad issue to Champao due to the fact that its Water Fairy typing is one of the only Pokemon in the game that can naturally resist Champao's entire moveset. With Iron Hands, we have a really strong, bulky Assault Vest moveset with some good Fake Out support, allowing for easier access to Tailwind, and it's a really good partner with Champao overall in this format. We have Bonnet as well, which should allow our team to not only get a good Redirector, but with Rocky Helmet and Tera Water, we can get a really strong overall wall, and with the Sunny Day support, this could be a pretty decent monster. Finally, we have a Choice Scarf Eruption Hisui Typhlosion, which should put up some decent offensive pressure, but again, without the base 100 speed or the Flash Fire ability, it's a little harder to justify it in this format. Overall though, the Frisk should still be really good for Battle Spot ladder, and I think it'll do enough for our role today. So if you want to try this team yourself, and whether that's through the rental or the showdown paste, both will be in the description below. But with that said, let's get started. And we're here with game number 1 today. We're taking on a team consisting of Dragonite, Garchomp, Meowscarada, Magnezone, Glaceon, and Tyranitar. Definitely interesting for sure. I feel like realistically, so my core should be pretty decent into this actually. The Torn Typhlosion should really match up well into pretty much everything. The one exception, well actually, let me rephrase. It'll match up to everything really well late game. I do kind of need to bank off of probably a Torn endgame, which is kind of weird, but I think it works out well. I kind of like the idea of going with like a Bonnet lead, like a Bonnet Iron Hands lead. I think it'd be kind of filthy. Bonnet in general should match up pretty well into this team actually. There's really the only mon that I probably wouldn't damage well would be like everything that I don't actually touch that well. Iron Hand should bully, and then I'll have Torn and Typhlosion as backline. I'm hoping to just pressure the. Actually, hold on. I've realized there is a better option here, and that's probably leading off with Azu. Now I will say, there might actually be merit in going with like Sunless here. There might be merit going Sunless here actually. Nope. I'm gonna ditch Bonnet for Torn. Magnezone could realistically get checked by Iron Hands, I should say, and I can protect around that. It will kind of be the most difficult mon of the team of the 6, but I don't think that Magnezone actually comes because of the Sun aspect, as well as Iron Hands and Bonnet just all being decent soft checks to it. Good luck have fun to my opponent though. I'm hoping for no mag. Anything besides Magnezone. Dragonite Meowscarada. Okay, this is fine. Dragonite Meowscarada is a very fine lead for me actually. I can proceed to just go for the Play Rough into D-Knight, and then I can go for the Fake Out into Meowscarada. That'll be a nice way to break Focus Sash. On the following turn, I can go for Protect on Azu, and then just go for a Drain Punch straight into Meowscarada, which should help with trying to pick that mon off, even if they do protect around me. I'm anticipating probably. I feel like on this team that a Banded Meowscarada actually makes a lot of sense, so they could maybe be Sash. I wouldn't put it past my opponent, but I feel like that Band just makes a lot of sense in this comp. Just because I can't really justify Meowscarada's presence otherwise here. Yep, DB D-Knight, okay. So already kind of leading into the thought that this is Banded Meowscarada, which is actually, I mean, I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. We're gonna get some pretty strong damage off here. Is that policy? Yep, that's policy. Okay, good to know. I'm curious. So there's a couple things that could be kind of annoying here. The first one being is I need to see if I can actually take out D-Knight this turn. And also I need to see, so let's see, Azumarill, versus Dragonites. So this is +3 D-Knight. +3 D-Knight E-Speed would kill if it's Terra Normal. Otherwise, it actually might not kill, to be honest. Actually, we're pretty low bulk on this. We have HP investment, to be fair, but we're pretty low bulk. D-Knight E-Speed without Tera would not kill, though. Say we need to dedicate a Tera spot into that, which I'm fine with that. I'll go for Drain Punch into Meow, and then I'm gonna go for Tera Water, and then Aqua Jet, just to ensure the KO here. Because without Multi-Skill up, as well as having the Tera Water up, and the fact that we have Life Orb, I think we can pick off the D-Knight. Yeah, with Multi-Scale broken, that should do around like 20-ish%. We can probably pick that off. Actually, there's a good chance we can pick that off. Or worst case, we could pick it off with our following one. They're gonna they're gonna go for Ozzy. Perfect. Okay, okay. Don't sucker. Oh, thank God. Okay. So they went for the E-Speed. They did not kill because they didn't Tera, and we killed his Unite. Perfect. Okay. Pretty big gamble I had to make there, but at the same time, that one could have easily swept me. Typhlosion could have revenged it, to be fair, because it was only +1. But even still, I'm very fine making that trade. Meowscarada can't kill my Iron Hands, and I can pick that off too, which is their best way to actually revenge off my Typhlosion. So having to give up the Tera is a little whatever. Player of, okay, Player of could be kind of terrifying. But this is whatever. Their Life Orb Meowscarada. Okay, Life Orb is interesting. We'll still get some decent damage on this, but it's not as great, to be fair. Okay. So, I think that I just go into Torn here. Actually, no. So I go into Typhlosion. I think I then double into Torn. I think it's going to be my best play, because I think there's a good chance they just value Sucker Punching. And I can go for like an Iron Hand, like a Heavy Slam. Or even just Drain... No, I don't Drain Punch the Glaceon ever. I feel like it's not a play. Let's see. So yeah, we go for the Heavy Slam into Meow here, and I just double into Torn. If my opponent goes for like some sort of correct play, like going for Blizzard or like a Freeze Dry, good play on my opponent's end, I think realistically they're going to try and sucker Typhlosion, and then I'll just need to trade Torn with Glaceon, which is really whatever. As long as it's not Tera Water, I think I can muscle it. But Tera Water would definitely be annoying, I can't lie. If they go for Play Off as well, that's also kind of annoying. But it's a call that I kind of just need to hope for the best on. They're going to Tera. That's probably going to be the Glaceon. Just don't go for a move that's going to kill Torn. Don't kill Torn. Don't kill Torn. They're going to Tera Water. Okay, Tera Water's whatever. To be fair, if T-Star's last mon, then going for that might not be the worst case in the world. Because I could potentially just go for... Okay, they're going to Play Off. Ooh, fuck. Okay. Ooh, we avoid. Okay. That works out pretty well. I can't lie. That works out super well. So that might be the reason we win the game. It's definitely not a good play for my opponent, that's for sure. If they're... I'm curious what their last mon is, because I might have to go for Tailwind plus just like Drain Punching the partner slot to get some health back. I could also just Wild Charge the Glaceon, frankly. That might be a play as well. We'll kind of have to see. We'll kind of have to see. Garchomp's last mon. Okay. So yeah, I definitely go for Tailwind, and then I think I just go for Wild Charge into the Glaceon here. Wild Charge should do some decent damage to the Glaceon. That's a pretty Spadef mon, so I think I'd rather just pick that off as quickly as possible. Garchomp's probably just going to go for like a Rock Slide here, with Glaceon just going for some sort of attack, which is whatever. It's kind of what I just need to take at this point. Dodging that play off is going to be pretty beneficial, though. That's actually going to matter a ton. We're going to have to take an Outrage. Ooh, okay, that might be game. Kind of wishing I went for Sunny Day instead, but I was hoping that Iron Hands would at least outpace that Garchomp when I went for that. To be fair, this does mean that we'll get 2 attacks off, one with the Torn and one with the Typhlosion. So I can maybe make this work, but it's gonna be kind of ugly, I can't lie. Okay. Their Assault Vest. On what mon? Assault Vest and Scarf. Okay, Assault Vest and Scarf. That's interesting, that's interesting. So I can definitely... So I think the issue here is that I can't really do much damage to either mon. I think the Glaceon was the Scarf one, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure, again, that I can't really do a ton of damage to the Garchomp if it's AV. I think I just need to KO the Glaceon here, and I need to hope that Torn gets damaged by Outrage. I think it's kind of my play, and just hope for the best. So Olivian, to be fair, could do some decent damage to Garchomp, but it's gonna be kind of a gamble here. Okay, nope, that was the AV mon, so then I called it wrong. Alright, well, I mean, either way, the Solarium should do a pretty decent dent to Glaceon. I guess the question is, how weak is Typhlosion offensively? Because, I mean, to be fair, Glaceon actually has a ton of Spadef, and with the AV, that probably, yeah, that definitely shoes. Yeah, that's game. That Scarchomp is pretty huge here. Pretty huge Scarchomp, for sure. Alright, that's fine. I should have brought Bonnet, probably. I think Bonnet would have been better than, probably better than Torn, to be honest. I think I should have went with that call. It was a really gimmicky call, to be fair, but I think it would have helped a lot. Regardless, though, we will see you guys in game number 2. Peace out, guys. Okay, so game number 2, we're taking on a team consisting of Dual Genie. We have Gmol, Chimpao, Iron Hands, and Urshifu. That's probably Rapid Strike Urshifu on this team. They don't really need Single Strike for anything in particular. It's definitely an interesting comp. So Azu does a ton of damage to this team, actually. They don't really have a good Azu counter. Specifically, what I kind of like here is I kind of like the idea of an Azu Pow sort of lead. I do kind of want to also lead a bit aggressive to handle like a dual Genie lead on my opponent then, but Azu Pow should be fine with that. I don't really need to match Tailwind. Frankly, I'm never really winning a Tailwind war here. I could late game Tailwind yet again. I feel like late game Tailwind could do some decent numbers. Yeah, I do kind of like late game Tailwind actually, but I also do kind of like the idea of bringing Iron Hands. Tera Iron Hands could do some decent work, but I'm not sure how much I like that. I think I'm actually gonna bring Bonnet and Typhlosion in the back. I don't really need to match their Tailwind because I think I do always lose that matchup. The one exception is Typhlosion would probably win against most Tailwind mons here, but the issue being is that I can get Revenge off by priority pretty confidently by this team anyway. Whether that's Fake Out Iron Hands, which would beat most of my mons, or Shifu Rapid probably is Aqua Jet. It's a pretty common move on Rapid, even on Scarf sets they're on Aqua Jet. So I don't really feel like that's the play I should be making here. My opponent's going to lead with Qianpao and Torn. Okay, so I do lead with Torn, and that's perfectly fine. My Azu matches up very well into this, and I can probably just go for Tera Ghost Pow. I think it's going to be a good play. Either way, though, I definitely do not turn one go for anything on my Pow. I just go for Protect, and then I go for Liquidation into my opponent's Qianpao. My opponent's Qianpao having to take a Liquidation should be pretty beneficial for me. And then I can make sure that they're in Sucker Punch range, which is valuable. My opponent's going to go for Tailwind. That's perfectly fine. What are they going to do? They're going to go for Sacred Sword? Yep. Okay, perfect. Sacred Sword and a Pow. It's exactly what I expected. Okay, so Azu should be able to get some pretty decent damage here. I could just go for Liquidation into the Torn at this point, because Qianpao can just get Sucker Punched. If my opponent goes for priority into my Pow and goes for like a Sucker Punch or an Ice Shard, so be it. I can't lie. Ice Shard would be a little bit annoying. Well, actually, either way. Oh, right. We don't have priority on this set. Okay, new plan. We're gonna pop Tera Ghost. Actually, wait, hold on. No, I could just go for Ice Spinner. What am I saying? I go for Ice Spinner, I could just go for Aqua Jet and a Pow. That's probably my better play anyway. Because, one, the Ice Spinner will hit Torn for much better damage than the Aqua Jet would have. But more importantly, too, because my priority, at least, wouldn't be impacted by my opponent going for Sucker Punch. So even if I had Sucker Punch, this would actually be my better play for sure. My opponent's gonna go for Bleak Wind. That's perfectly fine. I could bring Torn down to the KO range, which is great. Having a 0 health Torn should be pretty valuable because I could definitely, again, just stall out your Tailwind and then just gain the advantage back later on. And even still, again, I don't know if I need the speed advantage, to be honest. If I kill the Qianpao, then my team's actually pretty set here. My opponent's going to send out Iron Hands. Okay. Yeah, I just go for Dual Protect here. There's actually no reason for me to go for any other play than Dual Protect here, because on the following turn, I can just go for a Sacred Sword into Iron Hands, or even just like an Ice Spinner, and then I can just go for Aqua Jet into Qianpao, and that should be pretty good. My opponent's probably going to fake out the Azu, if I had to guess, and then on the following turn, they're probably just going to try and Wild Charge me, which is whatever. Yeah, that's honestly whatever. I might even just switch out my Azu, to be honest. I could go right into Bonnet with that. It would be a little bit aggressive, but I think it might work for the best. I'll go for Ice Spinner meanwhile into that, and then, yeah, I think I'm just going to go into Bonnet. The Wild Charge play is so predictable here, if not at least like a Volt Switch even, which Volt Switch wouldn't be too bad either. Again, stalling Iron Hands at a Tailwind is pretty good. They might very well just go for Sacred Sword into my Pow. I don't feel like it's worth burning a Tera to preserve that mon though, because I can definitely try and play on that Pow. And again, I think that the Protect is more likely at this point. I don't think they'll trade their Pow for mine. Perfect. Yep, okay, so we called that. I'm curious about what my opponent's going to do now. They're going to Wild Charge? I feel like the Wild Charge play is still pretty likely. If they killed my Pow, though, I'm fine with that. Wild Charge, okay, perfect. Definitely the best play I could hope for. And I could Tera Water on this, and that would actually be pretty valuable. Because I can definitely... So I can definitely pick off Iron Hands. Opposing team Tailwind petered out? Perfect, okay. Yeah, I'm just going to go for Ice Spinner and a Pow. And then I think I'm just going to go for... Tera Water, and I'm going to go for a Rage Powder on Bonnet. This should draw in any sort of Sucker Punch that might want to go off, and not only this, but it helps with any sort of really just whatever attack it wants to go for, whether it's Qianpao going for Sacred Sword, I'm now neutral, whether it's going for Ice Spinner, I'm now resistant, if Hands is going to go for Close Combat, which would be the likely play, I'm now neutral again. So all these would be pretty decent reasons for going for Tera Water. Obviously, if they predict and go for Wild Charge, it's fine, but they're also not getting health back with a move like Drain Punch, which is pretty decent. So I can really make that work. Sucker Punch, perfect. Okay, so Sucker Punch fails, we're going to guarantee kill Pow here, which means that I'm a lot less reliant on Azu in the endgame, which is good. We killed their Sucker Punch mon, which means Typhlosion should have a pretty easy time cleaning now. We've gotten all the necessary pieces. So even if my opponent predicted Tera Water and they go for Wild Charge, I'm kind of set here. They go for Drain Punch. Okay, that's fine. At this point, I've set the field. Typhlosion should be able to just win. There's not really a backline that they have that would beat that. So I'm pretty okay with this. I could just let my team go down. I'll probably just start sporing stuff just to make Typhlosion's job a bit easier in the end game, to be honest. Urshifu. Okay, perfect. Yep, Urshifu Rapid. We're just gonna go for Sacred Sword, try and break a Focus Sash if it has one. And then I'm gonna go for a Spore into Urshifu Rapid because I don't believe my opponent has a Tera left. Even if they do, any Tera type this would want to go for, defensively speaking, would only be more beneficial for me. So we're gonna just try and take that. My Bonnet might outpace Urshifu. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're gonna go for close combat anyway. So I'm okay with this. We're gonna drop defense on this, which is huge. I think I'll just go for... I do have Heat Wave. I could just go for Heat Wave. In all honesty, Heat Wave would probably be fine. Especially with Tera Fire. Actually, I don't have Tera Fire, but even still, Heat Wave should be pretty fine here. Especially since I do have the... I do have not only the Azu, which can definitely Slow Muscle Urshifu, but I can... With Heat Wave, I'm Modest Scarf, so I mean, I should definitely deal some serious damage to Typhlosion. We know it's not a Scarf for Shifu, so we do need to be a little bit careful here. But it's not something I need to really respect. I could also potentially just go for Shadow Ball, but the issue being is that with Shadow Ball, if my opponent does end up going for really whatever shenaniganry, okay, there's a Mystic Water, yep, okay, so it's definitely not choiced. It's good to note that it's at least not banded either, or like Assault Vest. We'll go for Play Off into Urshifu here, and I think that I'm gonna go for, I think I'm just gonna go for Heat Wave. I kind of have to go for Heat Wave. I could always Wild Charge the Iron Hints on the next turn. They're gonna go for Tera. It's probably gonna be Tera Water Urshifu if I had to guess, to try and get rid of that fighting typing. Get Tera Water. Okay, that's whatever. I don't really care. I'm curious if Aqua Jet will actually kill. If they kill, that might be game. But there wasn't a lot that I could do about that in that case. Aqua Jet goes off, and yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay. Because Iron Hands will definitely pick off my Azumarill here. And oh, okay. I mean, honestly, Urshifu probably just killed with Surgic Strikes. I don't think there was a lot I could do about that game. Oh, yeah, that wasn't a good one. That was definitely not a good one. I mean, well, more so just the end game was unfortunate. My opponent played that pretty well, but just unfortunate. Maybe I should have waited to Tera a bit longer. I mean, even still, though, I lost Bonnet, and yeah, that probably wasn't an end game I was winning anyway. Unfortunate. We'll see you guys in game number 3, though. Going to game number 3, we're taking on a team consisting of Grimmsnarl, Zelf, Iron Bundle, Urshifu. This one could be single or rapid. I feel like that single makes a little more sense here. But either one could be kind of good. And then Heatran and Tinglu. In terms of my team, I think that I definitely need to play a really aggressive lead. Specifically, I kind of like the idea of Iron Hands and Pow, bringing Typhlosion in the back and then going with Bonnet. I could definitely also go with Azu here. The issue being is that I'm pretty sure that Tera Water... So I think a Tera Water Bonnet will definitely be more beneficial than going for Azu and just trying to break through my opponent. Tera Water Bonnet can definitely be a really good redirector for mons like Urshifu, especially if it's not Safety Goggles or Tera Grass. And I think that might be a little bit more important than just trying to allow my opponent to deal damage. That doesn't mean I need to essentially make Bonnet my guaranteed Terramon here, but I think that will be worth it in my opinion. So we're going to have to see what will happen. Good luck, have fun. I'm hoping for no Grim lead. Grim lead could be kind of annoying, especially like a Grim Azelf lead, because I could maybe just go for like a Tera Normal Explosion plus like screens, and that could be kind of whatever. It gives a lot of variables leading with that, but we'll just have to see. I'm anticipating probably, I think Grim Azelf could actually be a kind of threatening lead here. Though really, I feel like this team is mostly just lead Pokemon and then Heatran. That's pretty much the theme. Lead Pokemon and Heatran. Though I guess all of these are also not, like, nothing here is really like a dedicated lead besides like Bundle and Grim. Even then, Grim's not necessarily a dedicated lead. Regardless, good luck or fun to my opponent. I'm interested to see what they end up bringing, because I feel like there's a lot of ways they could take this matchup, and especially like the late game Tinglu could be kind of annoying depending on the mons that we have. So I do need to make sure that I value taking out Tinglu. They do go with Grim Azelf. Okay, perfectly fine. This could definitely be a pretty terrifying lead. I think there's a good chance that Azelf just booms here. I'm gonna value taking out the Grimmsnarl this turn. So I can either go for like a Fake Out and Throat Chop into Azelf, and that would probably pick it off. I think that there's a good chance they just protected Azelf. I'm actually gonna go for the Heavy Slam here, and I'm gonna go for Ice Spinner. I'm just gonna dual target Grim. I think there's a good chance that Azelf just protects, knowing that Fake Out is pretty likely into a fairly obvious Sashmon. So unless they're Tera Ghost, if they're Tera Ghost, then there wasn't really much I could do about that turn, because they're just going to guarantee attack off their Tera Ghost Focus Sash specifically. But this will be just really a good turn to scout. We're going to get the Reflect off here, perfectly fine. We're going to get the Ice Spinner into Grimmsnarl. That actually does some decent damage, and then Heavy Slam again should probably pick off. They're going to go for Mystical Power. Ooh, Mystical Power Azelf, that's interesting. Look at a special attack race from that, which is, that's fine, it's the move. Perfect. Grim is dead. Okay. That's pretty huge. That's potentially a Light Screen Mon that could have done some decent work against us. So I'm more than okay with that. I'm going to proceed to just Ice Spinner into Azelf now. And then I'll probably Terra Grass. Actually, no, I can't Terra Grass. They are Rapid Strike or Shifu. Good to note, good to note. Yeah, so I'm going to go for a Drain Punch into Azelf. I could also actually, what I could do this turn, I could definitely go into Bonnet on Iron Hands. And then I'm just going to go for Ice Spinner into Azelf. Because Urshifu's probably just going to single strikes, Surging Strikes through my Chien-Pao anyway. And then meanwhile, Azelf's probably just going to go for another Mystical Power, or maybe even a Dazzling Gleam. I feel like either of those are viable plays. Gleam is whatever, I can't really stop Gleam from going off here, frankly. But at least trying to get an attack off before Urshifu Surging Strikes my, my Chien-Pao could be pretty decent. They'll go for Protect. Okay, Protect is fine. Ice Spinner is going to fail, and then we're going to get Surging Strikes. Okay. So be it. That's whatever. Surging Strikes goes off. Okay. Yeah, so I'll definitely have to just go for the Rage Powder here. Ooh, we take that. We barely take that. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna definitely have to just go for the Rage Powder here, plus the Tera Water. And then I'll just go for Ice Spinner into Azelf. I think this turn should be pretty decent. We'll have to take more damage from Mystical Power Azelf, but I also don't know if it'll click. Actually, it's definitely not gonna click Mystical Power. It's probably gonna click Gleam if it has it, and if not, it's probably gonna click some sort of maybe like a fire move, or maybe it's definitely not. I don't think it gets a fire move. If it does, I'm not sure what this actually gets coverage wise. Did we click here? They're gonna go for Detect on Urshifu. That's perfectly fine. That means I didn't click Protect on Azelf, which is good. We'll go for Rage Powder here. What's my opponent gonna do? So they're gonna proceed to go for. Well, we're gonna get the Ice Spinner off first and foremost, which should be huge. Even with the screens up, that does a ton of damage. They're gonna go for Thunderbolt. Okay. Good play on my opponent's end for sure. But we can still get some decent damage on that Urshifu. And then I'm going to proceed to go for a Sacred Sword actually into Urshifu, because I do think that Azelf will go for Protect this turn, trying to avoid dying. Yep, perfect. Okay. So this is at least some decent damage. I can try and break through some sort of Focus Sash here. If Urshifu does have a Focus Sash, while also getting off some nice Sacred Sword damage, I could fake out Urshifu in the next turn and then just kill Azelf, which is huge. Okay, yeah, it's whatever. Close Combat goes off. Alright, perfect. So we're dropping defenses, which is also really good. Yeah, that's pretty good for us, actually. I refuse to believe that Urshifu has Aqua Jet. I feel like it would have clicked it into POW by now. Maybe they were trying to kill Bonnet, actually, to be fair. Killing Bonnet would have been fair. Okay. We're gonna bring in Iron Hands, though. Iron Hands should be decent. We can just fake out Urshifu and then just kill the Azelf here. They'll have one Mon left in the back, but I'm fine with whatever Mon that ends up being. Then we'll go for the Ice Spinner, just in case of Tera Fairy. I don't want to Throat Chop and then have Tera Fairy, Azelf pop, and then Gleam my team. Because, again, Gleam is very free into these two, and I don't really want to let Azelf have that. So Ice Spinner should just kill. If they're, like, Tera Water or whatever, I got played, I guess. But not a lot I could do. Ice Spinner should pop, though. Azelf is now finito. That is perfect for us. Alright, so my opponent is down to just 2 Pokemon left. One of those is definitely the Urshifu. The other one is still up for debate. The fact that Urshifu did go afterwards, though, means it did not click Aqua Jet that turn. They're gonna go into Iron Bundle here. Okay, Iron Bundle is fine. Does Bundle boost your speed? Okay, so that could be a little bit of a problem for endgame, but we'll kind of just need to make it work. Alright. So, I need to go for... Specifically, I need to kill the Iron Bundle first. Which means that I need to go for a Protect on this. Actually, hold on. I do have a little bit of a question here, because this will definitely determine my play. Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Mystic Water, Iron Hands. We're 84. Okay. 84. Okay, so there's a good chance we take this. We're just gonna go for the protect. My opponent would literally need to dual target. Ooh, okay. Kind of a grim play. I'm hoping Urshifu didn't just target Pow. If they targeted Pow, good play on their end. Because I could have. Oh, they went for Sugar Tricks. Yep. Okay. Fuck. All right. So my play at this point. Let's see. So Shadow Ball should do some decent damage to Urshifu at least, and it'll also do some decent damage to really whatever we want to go for. So I think my play is to Drain Punch on the bundle. Mystic Water Urshifu, that's fine. If they have Aqua Jet, so be it. They kind of have to dual target at that point. And again, I could Drain Punch out of range, which is good. And then we'll Shadow Ball into Urshifu. That should guarantee kill, since it's not Assault Vest, which is huge. Hydro Pump goes off. They miss anyway, which means they also did not target the thing regardless. I'm curious if that killed. I feel like that probably killed. Booster Speed. Yeah, Booster Speed definitely killed Typhlosion. It actually guaranteed killed Typhlosion. So that's unfortunate. But again, I kind of had to bank on that. Definitely unfortunate for my opponent because that makes a big difference in how I can win this game. But I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Listen, Typhlosion is not a good mon. It's not a good mon at all. So being able to get the win, I will take that. This mon is so terrible though. I can see why no one uses it, but I wanted to try it. It's a fun team to be fair. Like it's definitely, I think the team is as good as it could be for featuring Badamungus and Typhlosion. Like it's a pretty good team for what mons it's featuring. But it's definitely not a team that I would seriously run. No shade to the person who built the team. It's definitely a team that is built around a lot less comfortable mons for this format, to say the least. But the team itself, as I said, for the mons it's including, it's really well put together. Because I don't really think that, like, for example, Azu, it's a niche meta pick, but it is definitely a good one for stuff like Pow, which is a pretty terrible matchup for this team. And the Bonnet, like, I can get why Bonnet's on here too. I don't even think it's a bad pick for the team. Because this team definitely not only needed the redirection compression, but it also needed it's so weak to a lot of different common ghosts, and having Bonnet be that Sucker Punch mon instead is pretty good for it. But it's also definitely having a lot of not viable mons, which is really hard to do in Reg D. So I commend the person for even making this team work to begin with, but it's not a team I would come back to personally. Hopefully you guys did enjoy though, and if you did and you want to try the team yourself, maybe you'll have better luck than I did with it. Link to the rental as well as the team itself will be in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, like and subscribe for more. If you want to become a channel member today as well, we'll do some discussion videos, and we have a couple bonus videos, of course, a month with those. Our current channel members are Zeke Zero, Mia, Bbat, Timo Mueller, Sam, Route Plays, Obo, Johannes B, Double, Endless Gadgets, and Pambambi. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.